ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Trishuddha, 19th verse. Trishuddhamasu yadbhogyam bhokta bhogascha yadbhavet tebhyo vilakshanas sakshi चिन्मात्रोऽहं सदाशिवः. 18th verse, not 19th, okay? 18th verse. So, this is an important verse talking about the crux of the teaching. The teaching is summarized here very beautifully, and the gist of this teaching is what? Is that one is not the seer, one is not the object of sight, and one is not that which bridges the seer and the object, which is in the form of the sight itself. Seer, seen, sight, one is not. Then what is one? One is that which illumines all three without being any one of them. This is Advaita. Illustrating this, we have a wonderful chapter in Panchadashi, 10th chapter, called Nataka Deepa. Very beautiful. The analogy of the theatre lamp. So there is a in those olden days, you had an amphitheater, semicircle, stone seats were there, all stones, made into seats, maybe rising like this so that people sitting in the back also could see. And then there is a stone stage. And then what else? There is a lamp in the middle where a firebrand is lit. Because if it's an evening performance, if it's a daytime performance, you don't need light. If it's an evening performance, definitely you need the light. And then let's say there is a dance performance. You can see so you are sitting there in the audience, having ancient popcorn, enjoying the concert, dance concert. And then what happens? There is the dancer who comes. She is dancing, you see the accompanists and the people who are playing the tabla, who are playing the violin, and there is one person just to keep the beat, and then that person is keeping the beat. The vocalist is singing the song upon which the dance is happening, and there is so much going on, and the audience is there, and then of course the patron is there. Patron means Raja, the king who would say, I want this particular dancer. Oh, but she is very expensive. Doesn't matter, get her. She is from another part of India. We have to bring her. Bring her. No matter what it takes. And then the patron is the one planning all the programs. And so the patron is sitting in a VIP section, the patron and the family, and king or some other patron of the arts. And then the show goes on. The dancer finishes her routine, and then everybody takes a bow, and then everybody goes home. The performers go home, musicians go home, the audience also goes home. Then how do we see the presence and the absence of the dancer, the presence and the absence of the accompanists, the presence and the absence of the patrons? And how do we see this? Because of one unsung hero. Everybody was acknowledged in the vote of thanks except for one unsung, untalked about hero. Who is that? The theatre lamp. The lamp is the unsung hero which shines on the presence of the people there, and which shines on the presence of and the absence of the performers as well. The performers, the dancer is the jiva. Dancer is the jiva. And then what else? The dancer is the jiva, dancing in relation to whatever is happening in the jagat. The audience is the jagat, the seer, performers, the one who is witnessing everything. And then the patron is there. The patron is the ahankara. See, I threw this party, I did this, I. And then the accompanists are the 5 indriyas, the sense organs, which attract the audience with their soulful music, etc. And then, and what is the theatre lamp? None of the above. The theatre lamp is Sakshi, unaffected by the dancer, unaffected by the audience, non-partisan. And this theatre lamp, this Nataka Deepa, illumines the presence and the absence of happenings, of events. Similarly, this inner Nataka Deepa makes the whole universe like a play, and it illumines everything. This consciousness, which is the truth of I, illumines everything outside. Outside means outside of this body-mind complex. That's what outside. There is, otherwise for consciousness there is no inside, no outside. How can it be inside, outside for consciousness? For consciousness there is neither inside nor outside. So when we say outside and inside, it is only from the standpoint with reference to this body-mind complex. Okay. So therefore now what do we need to say? We need to see that in this whole jagat, this consciousness illumines everything without being any one thing. It illumines the subject, it illumines the subject means the jivas. It illumines whatever they are seeing or whatever they are doing, it illumines everything. Now, as this all pervasive illumining consciousness, we see this the mechanism of all that it illumines outside the body mind sense complex. This is very, very easy to see. But inside, within this body mind sense complex, that same rule and law applies. This we are not able to see. How so? Because inside also there is a whole jagat that is happening. There is a seer, and there is sight taking place, and then there is a object of sight. So seer, seen, sight is within, not just outside of the body mind sense complex. Inside this being, in antahkarana also, there is a triputi. There is a threefold difference, a very subtle difference in the form of vrittis, mental formations, thoughts, whatever you say. And it's a very subtle thing to notice. We can easily notice that Brahman is illumining everything on earth without becoming any one thing. But the same mechanism we have to take within the body mind sense complex and look at the antahkarana as illumined by consciousness. And this consciousness not only illumines all the things in the antahkarana, but it is not any one thing. and the consciousness illumines the thinker. A status superimposed upon that very consciousness, thinker. And what is the thinker thinking about? Of course, chocolate cake. What else is there to think about? And so the same consciousness also illumines what? The object of consciousness, chocolate cake. And then between the chocolate cake and the person, what is the bridge? Eyes, which are seeing the chocolate cake. Or you can say the nose, which is inhaling the fragrance of the chocolate. So that also could be. So whatever the sense organ is there, that too is illumined by consciousness and allowed to do its job. It does its job in the presence of this illumining consciousness. And then when you say illumine, there is a certain remoteness. This consciousness, like even in the example of the theater lamp, is very finite because the lamp is separate from everything else. Here also the consciousness is separate from everything else, but it is as though morphed into the thinker without being the thinker. It illumines the thinker, it casts the light on the thinker while morphing into the thinker, pretending to be thinker, masquerading as the thinker without being the thinker, essentially speaking. Then it masquerades as the object of thought. What is that? Chocolate cake. It masquerades as the chocolate cake without becoming chocolate cake. So in other words, it's neither subject nor object, but there is no subject without consciousness, there is no object without consciousness. And if we stop at this, then again there is a small one that is left out, the bridge between the subject and object. What is that? Eyes, ears, whatever the sense or whatever pramana is there, even inference, whatever it is. So all that is consciousness. Consciousness, thinker is non-separate from consciousness, and the object that is thought of, therefore non-separate from consciousness, and the bridge between the thinker and the thought and the object of thought is whatever the pramana is, that too is non-separate from consciousness, but consciousness is neither thinker nor object of thought nor mode of thinking. All that is, it is free. This is the essence of Vedanta. Not only seeing this outside, but also seeing it at the subtle level of one's own body-mind sense complex and one's own subtle thinking process. And so therefore, it's a very important verse. This verse is very, very important. Next one, we saw this yesterday. I just wanted to summarize and present it again a little bit, make it much more pakka. Mayyeva sakalam jatam Mayi sarvam pratishthitam Mayi sarvam layam yati Tad brahmadvayam asmyaham. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, 3rd chapter, there is a sentence. Yatova imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti abhisam vishanti. So, what does that mean? By which everything in this world has come to be, by which causeless cause, by which causeless cause all that is here is sustained, and unto which causeless cause everything resolves. This is Brahman. This is what Varuna tells his son Bhrigu. Bhrigu comes to Varuna and says, please teach me Brahman. Adhihi bhagavo brahmeti. He comes and asks, please teach me about Brahman. And then the father tells the son this, Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti abhisam vishanti tad vijignyasasva tad brahma iti. Please go and desire to know this. Please desire to know this. This is Brahman. See, the ancient Vedanta teachers had it easy. Yeah. They would just say that and go away. The student then had to do all the work. Yeah. And then the Buddhist teachers are also like that. They will also say, Zen masters, what's in your right hand? Lamp, master. Drop it. Student drops it. What's in your left hand? Nothing, master. Drop it. What? Teacher goes away. And the student has to spend sleepless nights thinking, what is this? What is the meaning of this? Where is this? What is the point of this teaching? So the ancient teachers of Vedanta were also like that. Yeah, I'm feeling a little nostalgic because the modern teachers have to keep saying everything, whatever is not said. So tad vijignyasasva, tad brahmeti. Then what does Bhrigu do? Bhrigu goes and contemplates. Satapo tapyata. And it is said, please do not go shopping before lunch or dinner. Why? Pick up too many things, not the wrong things. You will feel so hungry that you think you want everything and you will overbuy. So therefore, do not go shopping before lunch. And maybe the same people who made this adage should also make one more idiom saying what? Please do not meditate before lunch, directly before lunch, because that is what Bhrigu seems to have done. Annam was on his mind. What is the meaning of Annam? Food. Annam was on his mind and he said, oh, see, without food we can't. Yatova imani jatani jayante, from which all beings are born. Food. From food everybody is born. By food everybody is sustained. And then when the body resolves, where does it go back to? It goes back to the earth. Either it's cremated and then scattered, the ashes are scattered on the earth, or one is buried. Body is in the earth, and then what? On the same earth grows the brinjals and the cucumbers and everything. In a way, we are eating our own ancestors, really, in a way. So then he thought of all this. Then he said, yippee, got it. Annam brahmeti vyajanat. Annadhyeva khalvimani bhutani jayante. Annena jatani jivanti. Annam prayanti abhisam vishanti. I got it. It is because of food we are all born. It's because of food that we are all nourished. It's because of food. Sometimes we also die because of food. Okay, yeah, all kinds of things. Not supposed to eat this, that, and then one eats this and that, and then finishes off. Or, as I said, one resolves into the earth, which is resolving into food. And then punareva pitaram varunam upasasara. Again he came, and then what did Varuna say? The father said, wrong. And he didn't say, let's have a class right now, I'll tell you the right thing. He said, go back and think some more. Go back and do a little more analysis. And then he goes back, and then still he doesn't get it right. He goes through prana. Pranam brahmeti vyajanat. Of course, first he had his lunch and then he meditated. So this time what happened? Prana. If you eat too much, you are a little breathless. So that's why prana was on his mind. Prana. then manaha, then all these, then finally Anandam Brahmeti Vyajanat. Finally he understands Ananda is the ultimate answer. You cannot go beyond this answer. Why? Because it is limitless. So this Ananda is because of which all beings are born. This Ananda here is Upalakshana for consciousness. So in this consciousness is why the reason where everything is born. Consciousness upholds everything, and everything resolves into consciousness. And then he did not approach the father anymore, because the correct answer was he understood the correct answer. The correct answer was got within the heart. And so like this we have in the Upanishad, and the same thing is being iterated here. Mai sakalam jatam, in me. And who is this me? Not the jiva, because that would be ridiculous to say. In the jiva the whole jagat arises. It doesn't, the jagat cannot appear. So here in consciousness, sakalam jatam, the whole jagat rises in me. What kind of consciousness? This witnessing consciousness, which does not really participate in the rise and fall of anything, let alone even the jagat. Not even the jagat. And then meaning, I lend my witnessing, I lend my satta, my existence, I lend my spurti, my sentience to the birth of this thing, this so-called jagat. I lend my sentience and my existence. In other words, all the things that are sentient borrow their sentience from whom? Me. All the things that are existent borrow their existence from me. Why do they have to borrow the existence? Because I am the only one that is self-existent. I am the ultimate source of all existence. I am the only one that is self-existent. And if I am the only one that is self-existent, everything shines in a borrowed light, everything shines in a borrowed existence, and this borrowed existence means that the Nama Rupa takes on the existence belongs to Brahman, and the Nama Rupa belongs to what? Jagat. This is the division between Jagat and Brahman. Drigdrishya Viveka will say this. Asti bhati priyam rupa nama rupam etat panchakam. This group of 5, and there are 5 things that the text mentions. First 3 are asti, bhati, priyam. And the last 2 are what? Nama rupa. What is asti, bhati, priyam? A fancy way of saying Sat, Chit, Ananda. That's all. No need to get confused. Asti is Sat. Bhati shines. Chit, all knowledge. Priyam, Ananda. Priyam means beloved. Oh, you mean everything in the world is Ananda? Yes? I don't agree. There are cheetahs, there are tigers. I don't want them anywhere around me. That's right. They are a source of Ananda when they are far away. Certain things are beloved by being very close to you. Certain things become beloved when, like snakes, lobsters, what are those other things that go sideways? Crabs. Crabs, snakes, lobsters, all these creepy crawly things. What are they? They are all very beloved when we are seeing them in a movie. Oh, this is the habitat of the crab. Look how it is burrowing. See what it is doing. Oh my God, it's at your feet. Wow! This is the thing. So in the movie, it looks nice. Somewhere in the pages of National Geographic magazine, it looks very nice. So it is very beloved from far. But if it comes anywhere near, it is apriya. So everything is beloved. And even if you don't like, things like bats and all, bats, right? Yeah, they fly like this and everything. Even if you don't like the bats, then some other people love bats. They study the bats. There was a student of Pujya Swamiji who spent his whole life studying bats. He was in America. And his name was Bhatnagar. Yeah, Dr. Bhatnagar. And in America, how will they call him? Dr. Batnagar. Yes, that's how they would call him. But this is, so you may not like something, but something even which you don't like is dear to somebody somewhere. Priyam is, it's a source of ananda. Asti, it is existence, bhati, knowledge, and ananda, limitless joy. So all the things in the world enjoy these 5 components. What are they? Asti, bhati, priyam, nama, rupa. Then the rug is dragged from our feet when the verse says, Adyatrayam Brahmarupam. The first 3 belong to who? Brahman. Don't say Jagat, okay? First 3 belong to who? Brahman. Jagad Rupam Atodvayam. The last 2 belong to what? Jagat. Who got the better deal, Brahman or Jagat? Brahman, definitely. Jagat is just left with name and form, a scaffolding. When they are about to build something, they will first put the bamboo poles and just tie some ropes. That's all the Jagat is. All the filling in, all the color, all the life, all the existence, all the knowledge, the delight, everything is contributed by Brahman. It's like going to a potluck. Potluck means where you bring a dish and other people also bring a dish and everything like that. So Brahman will bring the main dish. And then what will Jagat bring? Soda and chips, nama and rupa. No nutritional value, just junk food. That's all it will bring to the table. The contribution of Jagat is nothing. In fact, Jagat is nothing but a series of endless nama rupas, and these nama rupas are about to fall off. They have to look for something they have to look for existence. They don't exist on their own. They catch hold of Brahman and then they say, finally, thank God. Thank God I am here. So, this Brahman supplies the existence, supplies the sentience, supplies the delight to the Jagat. And who is this Brahman? Ahamasmi. I supply the existence to the Jagat. I supply that which is all-knowing. The sentience to the Jagat is non-separate from my own sentience. And finally, the Jagat is delightful because of me, Ananda Swarupa. Oh, it's nice on paper, but I don't know how to assimilate it. It feels so good to say, I am this one. That's why the I has to be walked over from this body-mind-sense complex. It has to be led to the Brahman. Brahman as I. So then the teacher will lead the jiva from identifying with the body-mind-sense complex to identifying with Brahman. Then why am I not there yet? You are midway, in between two. Okay? Yeah. Here is Jagat, here is Brahman, you are somewhere in the continuum. You are still in the process of knowing. That's all it is. You will know. You already know. You will know again much more deeply. So while one is in the process of knowing, one has to trust the journey. One has to enjoy the journey while at the same time helping ourselves with verses like this. Mayyeva sakalam jatam. In Mayi, in me, which is what? Consciousness, Brahman. Everything takes birth as it were. Takes birth means what? Brahman is giving birth? No. Brahman is as though the non-participating witness of all that comes. All that, why does it come? Maya Shakti. First of all, that question, why does it come, has two answers. What is the first answer? It has not come. It has not come. It has not gone. There is no Jagat to speak of. And if one revolts against this answer, then the second answer is given. What is the second answer? It has as though come. It is not, it's non-separate from Brahman, this Jagat. And why is it non-separate from Brahman? Because the Sat-Chit Ananda is supplied by Brahman, and it is as though this Brahman here, Ishvara, has entered every single aspect of the creation. The creation has to be non-separate from Brahman. Everything is Asti Bhati Priyam, Asti Bhati Priyam, Asti Bhati Priyam. Everything is ABP, ABP, ABP. Or SCA, SCA. What is SCA? Satchidananda. That's all it is. And so, you don't have to deny the Jagat. You see the Jagat as Satchidananda. You see, first stop. There are two stops on this journey. First stop, you see the Jagat as Ishvara. That's easier. Because Satchidananda means me. So that's harder. So first see the Jagat as Bhagavan. You Ishvarize the whole entire universe. Whatever you see is Ishvara, whatever you interact with is Ishvara. Whatever you get is Ishvara, whatever you don't get is definitely Ishvara. And whatever you want is Ishvara, whatever you don't want is also Ishvara. Everything is Ishvara. Then you say, first you have to change this verse to say, Ishvare Sakalam Jatam. Everything is born out of this Ishvara. Ishvare Sakalam Pratishtitam. In Ishvara everything is sustained. Ishvare Sarvam Layam Yati. Everything resolves back into Ishvara. Then as we proceed on the path of this knowledge, I am this consciousness. Why am I this consciousness? Because cognitively we remove everything that does not really have Nityatvam. That which is not permanent is removed. Body, permanent or not? Impermanent. Bye-bye. Not right now, okay? But cognitively. I don't want anybody sitting here to have an out-of-body experience. Please don't do that, okay? So, body, cognitively, bye-bye. What about the mind? The mind you don't have to worry about because it's already gone, bye-bye. Okay? Senses, bye-bye, because anitya. And then thoughts, anitya. Karta, anitya. Bhokta, anitya. So you bid them goodbye, meaning you don't reckon, you don't consider them in this situation. This is for understanding the truth of the I. So from the Jiva's side, you say bye-bye to all these entities, to every entity that is anitya. What is left? Consciousness, awareness. That's what is left. I am aware of everything. Sakshi is left. Even though there is nothing to witness, the content, the truth of the Sakshi is left as consciousness. Now we have to walk over Ishvara's side, and there also you have to as though remove all the things cognitively that are impermanent. Ruler of the universe. Permanent or impermanent? Anitya. Because sometimes the universe is itself not there. What will Ishvara rule? Tell me. So if nothing is there to rule, you cannot be called ruler. And so, rulership of the universe, impermanent. Creator of the Jagat, impermanent. Resolver of the Jagat, impermanent. Sustainer of the Jagat, impermanent. Giver of karma phala, impermanent. Anitya, 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 Anitya. Everything is gone. What is left? Consciousness. This consciousness, is it separate from the other consciousness that was left when the jiva was interrogated? Are there two consciousnesses? No. It's the same consciousness that's wearing the robe of Ishvara and strutting around happily. Yes, here is an Ashirvad for you. Don't fear when I'm here. I'm giving you darshan. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing that. Yes, some difficult karma phala will come, but go study Vedanta. Everything will be okay. All these things. This is Ishvara. And then who made this wonderful cloak for Ishvara? This cloak is so wonderful. It has gold border. It has galaxies for stitched to the border. Very nice. All the planets are there. The galaxies are there. The whole universe is there on this cloak. Who made this wonderful cloak? A special seamstress called Maya. Seamstress called Maya. Then the jiva said, you made such a lovely cloak for Ishvara. Where is my cloak? Okay, I'll take your measurements. And I do mood clothing. So tell me who you are. What is your vibe? How do you move in the world? What is your MO, modus operandi? Jiva said, I never thought anybody will ask. I am just always sad. And in between bouts of sadness, I go to sleep. And then in between two other bouts of sadness, I complain loudly. This is who I am. Sad. Very sad. What is making you so? I don't know. I'm just sad. Then the cloak is ready. Come and pick it up. What does the cloak look like? All tattered like a fool's cloak, the colors are not matching, all patchworked. And then border is full of teardrops. The whole border is full of teardrops. And this ragged, shabby cloak consciousness wears and it gets worn out. Oh, so heavy, samsara, I can't handle it. Oh Lord, where are you? Take me now. And Lord Yama happened to be in the neighborhood. Okay, Grandpa, come, let's go. Say, you saved me a trip, let's go. Oh, you inauspicious beast. Who asked you to come now? Well, you just said, take me. You can't believe everything I say. My granddaughter is getting married. When? In 6 months. You have to come after that. Okay. Yama goes off. 6 months later he comes. And then what? You inauspicious thing, get out of my house. Who asked you to come? You only said, Grandpa, 6 months. No, I'm going to have a great grandchild. I have to have what is called Kanakabhisheka. This is what they do. 4 generations, if you live long enough to see the great grandchild, then they put the great grandchild in the lap of the great grandfather or the great grandmother, and then they bathe you and the baby, all the generations, they bathe with water infused with gold. They bathe you with gold coins. And so I want this experience. Go away. When is the right time for Yama? Never. So the complaining jiva complains, why am I living so long? But then when Yama comes, then they don't want to go. Meaning the intolerable life of the jiva, which according to the jiva is interminable, really complaining only, the jiva lives. Why? Because it has donned this mantle of grief, anger, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, all these six kinds of negative emotions are the embroidery on the cloak, and when you put that cloak on, there is this feeling of heaviness, there is like a weighted blanket, and then there is just this gloomy feeling, and the consciousness as though participates in this gloomy feeling like an actor on the stage. The actor on the stage may be a very, very sattvic person in real life, but then during Rama Leela, during the 10-day Rama story festival, he is given the role of what? Ravana. He is given the role of Ravana. He has to be really mean. He has to be upset. He has to do bad things. And he has to be power hungry. So similarly, consciousness that has nothing to do with this cloak, nothing to do with his body, nothing to do with his mind, inhabits as it were the body and shines the light on all the complaints. The louder you complain, the greater the light that is shown. What is this light? Ananda. The light of Satchidananda is alone revealing your sadness. If it were not for Ananda, there would be no sadness. Even sadness is upheld by this Ananda. This is on the Jiva's side. On the Ishvara's side, that same consciousness wearing the cloak of all Sarvatma, of the Atma of everything, and wearing the cloak of all power, all might, all knowledge, all resources, all Vairagya, all Balam, all strength, wearing that, struts around and plays the role of the ruler of the universe without really being the ruler of the universe. There is nothing to rule. Why? There is no universe. What is there? Only consciousness. Only consciousness. And so you see, the two sides are just one. There is one consciousness. It's like a child wearing two costumes. That's all it is. You look under one mask, it's the same child, then the same child goes away, comes back in another costume. You look under the second mask, it's the same child. Exactly the same thing here. Mayyeva sakalam jatam. Everything is born in the presence of this consciousness alone. Everything is as though born. Everything is as though sustained. Everything is as though resolved. So this consciousness alone lends its satta and spurti, its existence and sentience to quote unquote become Ishvara, and lends the same existence and sentience to quote unquote what? Become Jiva. But then I know I am not Jiva, then the question will come. I am predicting the next Q&A session question. I know I am not Jiva, but how to understand it really, how to not get bogged down by this Jivatvam. Nididhyasana is important, meditation is important. Of course, more and more Shravanam is important. Shravanam, all the way. There is no other way for this. Because think of all the opposite orientations which have been there for what? Time immemorial. For so many births, I have thought of myself as what? Jiva. I have thought of myself as a quintessential complainer. I am under the spell of pratibhasika, subjective reality, for how many births? Think of how many births which we don't even know. And then now suddenly to switch over is difficult. Even in the face of this knowledge, to own up myself as Brahman is difficult because of the habitual orientations. They have to go. And so for that, Shravanam, and then removing the doubts, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, reveling in verses like this. Mayyeva sakalam jatam, reminding ourselves, I am that consciousness. and I don't come under the spell of anything at all. Very beautiful verse this is. And again the same Panchadashi in chapter 8, say a very beautiful verse there also is there to show this. Maya megho jagat neeram. Maya megho jagat neeram varshatu esha yatha tatha chidakashasya ka hanihi ko labhah iti sthitihi. So what is this Maya now? It is the clouds, rain clouds, heavy dark rain clouds. This is Maya. And then Maya bursts forth. What will she rain? The Jagat. Jagat is the rain. Maya megha jagat neeram. Neeram means rain, water. Jagat is the water. So this waterlogged cloud Maya is, when she bursts forth with the Jagat, what is the Jagat? In the form of rain, the Jagat comes tumbling. And then who am I? Chidakasha. I am the space. I am the space which does not get wet by the rain, which does not go deaf by the thunder, and which does not get singed by the lightning. I am the space. What kind of space? Chidakasha, the space which is in the form of Chit, all-knowing consciousness. I am space-like consciousness that does not come under the spell of the rain, which is the Jagat, and the cause of the rain, which is what? Maya. Maya is the cause of the rain. Jagat is the effect. Maya is the creator. Jagat is the effect. What am I? Neither cause nor effect. And I don't get affected by the Jagat. I don't have to. The space does not get wet by the rain. Similarly, Chit space, the space in the form of this Chit, all knowledgeable consciousness, does not get affected by this whole saga of things coming and going and sustaining and resolving. It has nothing to do with me, but in my presence everything happens. I lend the existence to whatever claims to be existent, and I lend the sentience to whatever claims to be sentient. Next one. अणोरणीयानहमेव तद्वत् महानहं विश्वमहं विचित्रम् पुरातनोऽहं पुरुषोऽहमीशः हिरण्मयोऽहं शिवरूपमस्मि Anoho aniyan ahameva. Tadvat means in the same manner. In which manner? What was said by the 19th verse. In the same manner as everything rises from me, sustained by me, comes back to me, in the same way, Tadvat Anoho aniyan. I am smaller than the smallest thing that you can think of. Even things that do not come under the scope of the microscope, I am. Ahameva. Mahanaham. Oh, so you are only the small things. You are not the big thing. No, I am the bigger than the biggest. Mahato Mahiyan. In the Kathopanishad it is said, but here suffice to say Mahanaham. I am big, I am great. Vishwamaham. Vichitram. I am in the form of this variegated universe. This universe of names and forms which has so many peculiar things in it. I am all of them. I am the Jagat. The Jagat is non-separate from me. And then, when did you come into being? I have no beginning. Puratanoham. Puratana means I am the ancient one. That was there even before this Jagat came into being. Sadeva Somya Idamagre Asit. Before this Jagat came into being, only Sat was there, Shvetaketu is told. And then Ekameva Dvitiyam. So here also Puratanoham means I was there even before this Vishwam, this Jagat came into being. Purushoham, Purusha means Purna, I am limitlessly whole. Aham Ishaha, I am in the form of Bhagavan, non-separate from Bhagavan. Hiranmayoham, I am self-effulgent like gold. Self-effulgent presence like gold, and at once the most auspicious thing alone I am. Shivarupam aham asmi. So this is again going with the tune of the Nididhyasana. Smaller than the smallest. What smaller than the smallest means inconceivable, of inconceivable size. And what is that? Non-separate from consciousness. What is that consciousness? Ahameva. And then bigger than the biggest, whether you think of Everest or whatever else, big mountain, big whatever it is, big ocean, big lake, anything you think of, big land mass, all this is me alone. Big galaxy, big star, whatever you think of, whatever is big is non-separate from me. Meaning what? What is my size? I am neither small nor big. But everything that is big cannot be separate from me, cannot be other than me. I am the bigness in everything that is big. I am that which is that which is gives the thing the size of smallness without being small, without either being small or big. I am as though lending the bigness and the smallness to things without becoming either. That's why both are given here at the same time, because if you are big you cannot be small, but here if you are both big and small, that means what? You are sustaining both without becoming any one of them. And then Anoho Aniyam Mahanaham Vishwamaham Vichitram. I am this universe in the form of this so many varieties. So many varieties, and Vichitra also means it has a logic to these varieties. Why did the dinosaurs become extinct so many million years ago? Why? We don't know, but then there is a logic to it. For one thing, it would have been very inconvenient to have them coexisting with us. We would be forever afraid. All the jivas would be running helter and skelter. Some of them were huge, as big as some buildings. And so therefore, there is a logic. When they became extinct, there is a logic. Why they became extinct, there is a logic. And if there is a new species that is supposed to come, that there is also a logic. Like a cross between two other species, some new species has come, like the coronavirus, there is also a logic. And so that logic we don't know. It's way beyond our brains to fathom, but that which is the all knowledge, Ishvara knows there is a logic why something is big, why something is small, why the Jagat is like this, and that logic is explained in the word Vichitram, meaning intricately tied together. And sometimes it also seems peculiar. Another word for Vichitra is peculiar. So this is, and of course the main meaning is variegated. So this Vishwamaham, this the world I am, this variegated big universe I am. And then, oh, you are Jagat. So the Jagat has a birth date. That means you were not there before this Jagat came. No, I was there as consciousness. Puratanoham. I was there in the form of this consciousness, which is very ancient, and more ancient than the Jagat. And what am I? Purnaha aham. Sarvan purayati iti purushaha. That which fills up everything alone I am. And then aham ishaha. I am the ruler of everything. Ruler means not somebody who goes with a stick. That's why the word ruler has two meanings. One is the one who rules, and the other one is what? Not the one who is, who has Udyatakaram with a stick in hand, a raised hand. No. Everything just, it's the presence. What is that presence? The presence is Ananda. Ananda means it is just a benign, benevolent, loving presence. And in that presence, everything happens. Happily, everything happens. Nobody has to be forced to do anything. So, the word Ishu in Ishvara, Ishu Palane, the one who rules. And then you add the suffix Vara to it. Vara means always. The one who rules when? Always. Ishvara. This Vara suffix we already know. Nashvara. That which is subject to destruction when? Always. Sthavara. Trees etc. are called Sthavara. Stha to stay, Vara always. Those, the mango tree doesn't get up and go to the beach. Doesn't say, I'm tired of being here. I need a holiday. So therefore, Sthavara. Nashvara. Bhaswara, the sun. Bha plus Vara, Bhaswara. Sun. Bhas plus Vara, Bhaswara. And so, this way, Ishvara means the one who is always the ruler, never the ruled. So, this Ishvara, and who is this Ishvara? Myself. Why? Hiranmayo aham. Hiranmayo aham, I am of that self-effulgent consciousness, which is Shivarupam Asmi, never inauspicious. More we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.